The well-known American gospel singer, composer, and preacher Marvin Winans has a profound impact on both the larger gospel music business and the spiritual life of his community. Over the course of his multi-decade career, Winans has established a reputation for having strong voice, inspirational lyrics, and a commitment to using his art and ministry to further God's cause. Marvin Winans was born in Detroit, Michigan on March 5, 1958, and grew up in a musically and religiously orientated household. He comes from the distinguished Winans family, which is well known for its important contributions to modern gospel, and is the son of Bishop David Winans, a trailblazer in the field of gospel music. Being exposed to gospel music at a young age was crucial to Marvin's development, since he grew up in a home where music was played all the time. Had a significant influence on how his career developed. Dolores Winans' mother also had a big impact on his childhood. From an early age, she fostered his musical abilities by motivating him to take part in church events and music programs. Marvin had a strong sense of purpose and a desire to use his abilities to exalt God as a result of this foundation. The family had a long history of music, with gospel music playing continuously. Marvin was able to experience the rich history of gospel music firsthand, since family get-togethers frequently included singing and praising. He developed a strong respect for the genre, as well as the fundamental abilities required for his eventual profession in this setting. It is impossible to overestimate the impact of his family's musical heritage. Marvin grew his voice, learned how to create songs, and accepted the spiritual lessons that gospel music offers in this supportive environment. Marvin's family pushed him to seek formal schooling in the arts after recognizing his skills. He was a student at the Detroit High School for the Fine and Performing Arts, which is renowned for developing talented musicians and artists. He worked along with classmates who were as passionate about music as he was. Marvin was able to explore his artistic expression in a creatively stimulating atmosphere at school, which prepared him for a career as a performer. Marvin attended the University of Memphis after high school to further his love of music. His knowledge of music theory, composition, and performing was significantly enhanced by this post-secondary educational experience. A wide variety of musical influences were available at the University of Memphis, which helped Marvin develop his skill and broaden his repertoire. He improved both his composition and singing capabilities while gaining insightful knowledge of the industry. Formal education and real-world experience combined to create a strong foundation for navigating the intricacies of the music industry. Over the course of the 1980s, gospel music started to change. Contemporary gospel, which combines classic gospel sounds with contemporary musical influences like pop and R&B, came into being around this time. Being raised in a musical household immersed in religious customs, Marvin Winans was well equipped to handle this changing atmosphere. After the Winans family group's breakthrough in the late 1980s, which had paved the way for many musicians in the genre, Marvin had a great chance to make a name for himself as a solo artist. Marvin's desire to convey his distinct musical vision while upholding his dedication to the gospel message motivated him to seek a solo career. He started this new phase of his career prepared to add to the diverse fabric of gospel music, supported by his family and the foundation established during his early years. Introducing Marvin Winans, which was released in 1987, was Marvin's first official solo album. His deep compositional abilities and strong voice were shown throughout the CD, displaying a fusion of modern inspirations and classic gospel components. The well-executed production resonated with a wide audience and reflected the changing style of gospel music at the time. A variety of tracks on the CD showcased Marvin's emotional depth and vocal skill. Songs like Your Faithfulness and I Don't Want to Know immediately struck a chord with audiences, demonstrating his talent for using music to express deep emotions. His appeal was further increased by the lyrics' frequent reflections on themes of faith, optimism, and personal struggles, themes that many people could identify with. The CD stands out from others in the gospel genre because of the strong arrangements and Marvin's passionate vocal performance. His ability to blend modern sounds with traditional gospel music produced a unique listening experience that appealed to both new and seasoned gospel fans. In addition to establishing Marvin Winans as a solo performer, the introduction's popularity helped modern gospel music gain more traction in popular culture. Marvin Winans rose to prominence in the gospel music field shortly after the publication of his debut album, attracted interest from both industry insiders and enthusiasts. His standing as a potent solo performer was cemented when he started to play at different locations and gatherings. Due to the album's popularity, Marvin was able to widen his reach by taking part in performances, collaborations, and music festivals. He has received praise for a number of popular songs that have struck a chord with listeners all around the world. One of Marvin Winans' most beloved songs, "Your Faithfulness," perfectly captures the spirit of faith and dependence on God. The song's lyrics express a profound gratitude for God's steadfast faithfulness, despite the difficulties and unknowns of life, encouraging listeners to consider how they have personally experienced God's unwavering presence. A combination of classic and modern gospel components define the song's melodic structure, which is both moving and uplifting. In addition to showcasing Winans' vocal ability, this combination draws attention to the song's spiritual theme. Your constancy is a mainstay of many church services and worship sessions because it serves as a reminder of God's promises and the solace that comes from believing Him. Your constancy has an effect that goes beyond its melodic arrangement. It strikes a personal chord with listeners. Many people use the message as a source of encouragement during trying times, finding comfort in it. The song has evolved into an anthem of hope, reaffirming the conviction that God is always dependable for those who seek Him out. This timeless appeal adds to Marvin Winans' reputation as a musician who skillfully conveys profound spiritual truths via his songs. "I Don't Want to Know," which explores the concept of yearning for a closer relationship with God, is another noteworthy song by Marvin Winans. The song's lyrics convey a sincere wish to stay in God's presence, highlighting the significance of having a spiritual connection and the necessity of seeking divine direction. This desire is encapsulated in Winans' passionate vocal delivery, which transports listeners to a state of devotion and reflection. "I Don't Want to Know" has a deep musical arrangement that goes well with the song's lyrics. The instrumentation and speed of the song evoke a sense of devotion, enabling listeners to participate in an intimate religious experience. Its accessibility is improved and it appeals to a wide range of listeners by fusing gospel rhythms with modern elements. The difficulties and diversions that might impede a person's connection with God are also discussed in this song. Winans invites listeners to consider their own spiritual journeys by candidly expressing a want to put faith above material worries. Winans' position as a voice for spiritual awareness and dedication is further cemented with "I Don't Want to Know," which is a potent reminder of the significance of seeking God's presence in an increasingly chaotic world. One of Marvin Winans' most profound compositions, the presence of the Lord encapsulates the transformational effect of coming into contact with God. This hymn discusses the concepts of healing, serenity, and restoration that come from being in God's presence. The lyrics, which are full with vivid imagery, portray the peace and joy that result from having a strong connection with God. The passionate and heartfelt delivery of Winans' vocal rendition of the Lord's presence makes the message impactful for all who hear it. The powerful instruments and rich harmonies of the song's arrangement foster a worshipful environment that invites congregational involvement. Given its capacity to promote a closer relationship with God, several congregations use this hymn in their worship sessions. People who are looking for comfort and strength in their religion might relate to the themes found in the presence of the Lord. The song serves as a reminder of the significant influence that encountering God's presence may have on one's life. It emphasizes the idea that God's presence has the power to change people's hearts and minds, resulting in spiritual development and rejuvenation. It is an invitation to get closer to God. The fact that Marvin Winans has won several Grammy Awards is evidence of his extraordinary talent and musical accomplishments. One of the most prominent honors in the music business, the Grammy Awards are given out by the Recording Academy every year to honor exceptional accomplishments in a variety of genres. But Winans' nominations and victories demonstrate his ability to write songs that captivate listeners and display his voice strength and compositional abilities. His Grammy wins are a testament to both his unique talent and the wider cultural acceptance and appreciation of gospel music. Other gospel musicians have been inspired to follow their musical ambitions while being faithful to their religion by Winans' Grammy achievement. This acknowledgement highlights the significance of gospel music in the larger musical landscape and acts as motivation for prospective performers. Marvin Winans has won many stellar awards, which are intended especially to honor excellence in gospel music, in addition to his Grammy Awards. The Stellar Awards were created in 1985 to honor the accomplishments of gospel music industry professionals, including producers and artists. Winans' achievements in this field provide us more evidence of his influence and importance as a key player in gospel music. Fans of gospel music have a particular place in their hearts for the Stellar Awards, which are chosen by the general public and represent how well-liked and respected performers are by their listeners. The fact that Marvin Winans consistently receives accolades at these events demonstrates his capacity to engage audiences and create music that speaks to their spiritual quests. His victories serve as a reminder of the value of shared experiences and community in the gospel music industry. Another noteworthy acknowledgement of Marvin Winans' contributions to gospel music is the Gospel Music Association's Dove Awards. The Doves recognize exceptional accomplishments in a number of areas, such as inspiring music, classic gospel, and modern gospel. His capacity to stay deeply entrenched in his beliefs while bridging genres. In addition to confirming Winans' talent, his Dove Awards win emphasizes the music's wider influence on the Christian community. His songs speak to listeners on a personal level by frequently addressing themes of faith, optimism, and endurance. His position as a prominent voice in the gospel music industry, inspiring people to use music to explore their religion, is further cemented by his Dove Award acceptance. Marvin Winans has had a huge impact on the gospel music scene, as evidenced by his many honors. Through his artistic contributions, the genre has evolved and reached a wider audience, helping to influence it. Winans has produced a corpus of work that bridges the gap between traditional gospel and modern sounds with his stirring vocals and poignant lyrics, appealing to both religious and secular audiences. Winans' impact goes beyond only his songs. Additionally, he has been instrumental in coaching and assisting up-and-coming gospel musicians. His dedication to developing talent and inspiring others to follow their musical dreams has helped gospel music flourish overall. Winans' position as a community leader is highlighted by the fact that many artists acknowledge him as a source of inspiration and direction for their own paths. Marvin Winans is a well-known gospel singer and songwriter who has also made a big impact on his community as the founder and pastor of Detroit, Michigan's Perfecting Church. Under his direction, the church, which was founded in 1997, has expanded and evolved to become a vital component of the neighborhood, providing a range of outreach and support initiatives. The purpose and development of Perfecting Church, Winans' pastoral journey, and the effects of his ministry on Detroit families and people are all covered in detail in this article. Perfecting Church was formed by Marvin Winans with the goal of establishing a place of worship that prioritizes the teachings of Jesus Christ while encouraging a feeling of connection and community among its members. His strong faith and the principles his family, especially his father, Bishop David Winans, who was a well-known figure in the gospel music industry and a revered church leader, instilled in him are the main reasons he wants to serve the community. From the beginning, Perfecting Church sought to solve the community's practical issues while attending to the congregation's spiritual needs. Naturally brought a lively worship experience with upbeat music and energetic praise to the church. A varied audience soon gathered at the church, lured not just by Winans' musical prowess but also by his sincere sermons and caring leadership. Perfecting Church grew significantly under Marvin Winans' direction, increasing both its membership and outreach initiatives. The church gained a reputation for having a warm and inviting environment where people from many walks of life could gather to worship and encourage one another. As the church's membership increased, Winans stressed the value of establishing connections within the congregation in order to create a strong feeling of belonging and a common goal. Perfecting Church has created a number of activities and projects to meet the needs of the community in addition to its regular worship sessions. Youth education programs, family support groups, and other outreach projects to help individuals in need are some examples of these initiatives. Winans' dedication to service exemplifies the church's purpose to serve as a source of hope and support for people in need in addition to provide spiritual sustenance. As a pastor, Marvin Winans' responsibilities go beyond making the church ideal. In the Detroit community and the larger gospel music business, he has emerged as a cultural figure and spiritual leader. Through his ability to combine ministry and music, he's been able to reach a wide range of people and help them gain a greater knowledge of faith and Christ's teachings. Winans stresses the value of faith, optimism, and tenacity in his sermons, urging members of the congregation to have a close relationship with God. His teachings frequently strike a chord with those going through difficult times, giving them the courage to face obstacles head-on and follow their goals. Many people have been empowered by Perfecting Church's spiritual advice, which has changed their lives and given them a new sense of purpose. Marvin Winans has had a number of unfortunate events in his life that have had a significant impact on his career and personal life. The death of family members, especially his brother Ronald Winans, who died in 2005 from heart issues, was one of the worst losses he experienced. This devastating death had a profound effect on the gospel music community in addition to Marvin and the Winans family. A beloved member of the Winans family, Ronald Winans played a crucial role in their musical ensemble, which was well known for its rich harmonies and stirring gospel sermons. Marvin and the whole family suffered a terrible loss when he passed away unexpectedly in 2005. The loss was especially heartbreaking because Ronald was not only Marvin's brother, but also his confidant and colleague. Ronald's death left an indelible hole in the Winans' personal life and musical pursuits, as the family had always been close. The gospel music world, which had grown to love and respect the Winans for their contributions to the genre, was rocked by the news of Ronald's passing. Alongside the family, a large number of admirers and artists paid their respects and remembered Ronald. Numerous people who had been impacted by Ronald's music and ministry sensed his absence. Therefore, the effects of this loss went beyond his immediate family. Tragic events, especially the death of Ronald, have had a big impact on Marvin. Winans' lyrical subjects and musical approach. His songs, which touch on themes of love, sorrow, faith, and tenacity, frequently have a strong emotional impact. He has been able to produce music that speaks to listeners on a human level and gives them consolation and support in their own hardships by relying on his own experiences of sadness. Marvin Winans has shown incredible fortitude in the face of disaster, not just for his family and community, but also for himself. In spite of their tragedy, the Winans family has united to help one another and continue their artistic pursuits in remembrance of Ronald's legacy. Their relationship has been strengthened by their combined strength, which has also made it possible for them to spread the message of hope that is essential to their ministry. Marvin Winans found himself at a petrol station in Detroit, a city renowned for its lively culture and rich musical heritage, but also for its battles with crime, on what appeared to be a typical day in 2012. An armed attacker approached him as he was sitting in his car, threatening him and demanding that he give over his vehicle. The altercation swiftly got out of hand, and Marvin was physically attacked during the meeting, turning him into a victim of violence. Marvin was left feeling vulnerable and unsettled by the event's terrible character. For everyone, including Winans, facing the possibility of violence is a terrifying experience. A well-known pastor and gospel singer, the encounter was emotionally impactful. A withdrawal from public life and ministry may have easily resulted from the fear and worry caused by such a traumatic encounter. Marvin Winans had a spectrum of emotions following the carjacking, ranging from perplexity and skepticism to dread and wrath. Those who have gone through such tragic events may start to doubt their safety and security, and this feeling of vulnerability can be heightened for someone who is in the spotlight. Winans, however, made the decision to use his religion to face these feelings. He understood that, in order to heal and recuperate, he needed to keep up his spiritual base. Marvin Winans stayed dedicated to his ministry work in spite of the trauma he had endured. He showed his steadfast commitment to his religion and calling as a pastor by choosing to stay with Perfecting Church. Winans recognized that his responsibility as a spiritual leader included living out his religion in trying times as well as preaching it in times of tranquility. Following the event, Winans' ministry concentrated on restoration and healing, providing assistance to community members and members of the congregation who have been victims of violence or trauma. In order to satisfy the emotional and spiritual needs of those impacted by such occurrences, he planned prayer sessions and community outreach programs. This helped to build a sense of solidarity and support both inside the church and outside of it. Within the gospel music industry, Marvin Winans is a shining example of faith and perseverance. He has proven to have a remarkable capacity for perseverance in the face of tragedy, using his experiences to encourage and raise others. He is a well-known character who still has an impact on many people's lives because of his persistent dedication to music and ministry, as well as his teachings of healing and hope. Marvin Winans is a living example of the ability of faith to overcome obstacles as he negotiates the intricacies of life. His experience serves as a reminder that transformation, development, and healing are possible even in the face of tragedy. He inspires others to accept their challenges, find strength in their faith, and become strong people who can inspire change in their own lives and the lives of others around them by telling his story.